In this video, I'll be swapping in a set of new PAC Beehive style valve springs and new Velpro valve seals into an LS2 engine. The process will be virtually identical for all engines with cathedral port cylinder heads, and rectangular port heads will be very similar, just needing a slightly different valve spring compressor. Now let's get started. Start by wearing protective goggles and disconnecting the negative cable from the battery, followed by the plastic engine covers. Now I'm going to remove the driver's side coil pack assembly. Start by removing the coil harness plug from the main harness connector, followed by the spark plug wires from the coils. Mine come off easy because I always make sure to include a little dielectric grease inside the boots when changing wires. Now we can remove the 5 bolts that hold the coil pack to the valve cover, and finally disconnect the small harness that goes to the oxygen sensor, and now we can lift the coil pack assembly out of the way. This isn't too bad, but I hate grime, so I cleaned it up immediately. Now we can go do the exact same thing to remove the passenger side coil pack assembly, and then clean that grime as well. I need to rotate the crankshaft while removing the rocker arms, and we'll need access to the spark plug holes when changing the valve springs, so the next step is to remove the spark plug wires, spark plugs, and valve cover. Again, if you use a dab of dielectric grease whenever you put spark plug wires on, it really does make them easier to remove down the road. Now I can pop off the valve cover, and once again, I'm impressed with how clean things are inside. I can remove all of the rockers except for these two. As you can see, when I use a straight edge, these valves are partially open, and you don't want to remove rockers under spring pressure, so these two will be last. I can go ahead and remove the others at this time, but before I do, you gotta have a plan as to where the parts are gonna go. Now I can break the bolts loose for 6 of the 8 rockers and then remove them with the 3/8" drive impact and transfer the parts to the organizer. For the remaining 2 rockers, I'll need to rotate the engine by hand until both of the remaining valves close. Then I can remove them as well and transfer them along with the push rods and the rocker arm stands to the organizer as well. Now let's move on to a super fun part of this job, and that is replacing 16 of these LS2 valve springs and 16 of these worn out valve seals with 16 of these 1219 springs from PAC and 16 of these valve seals from Velpro. And here's a look at the tools I'm going to use to accomplish this task. First up is a hose from a regular compression gauge. Then using a Schrader valve removal tool, I'll remove the Schrader valve so that the air will be able to flow into the cylinder when I screw it into the spark plug hole. And that compressed air in the cylinder is what's going to prevent the valves from dropping while I'm changing out the valve springs. Then I have a valve spring compressor from TrickFlow, a couple of sockets and extensions that every car guy should have, a 14mm stubby wrench, a few screwdrivers to pry and poke with, a pair of vice grips for gently removing the old valve seals, a rubber hammer for breaking the retainers loose, and a strong magnet. The first step is to screw the compression gauge hose into the spark plug hole of the cylinder that we're going to be working on. Then we hook up the compression gauge hose to a source of compressed air. I'm not sure exactly what the minimum amount would be, but it's probably at least 75 pounds per square inch. Now that I have compressed air holding up the valves, I give them a little love tap with a rubber hammer and a 19mm socket that fits nicely around the retainer. This breaks the retainer loose from sticking and makes it easier to remove the valve springs. Now I can install the base of the TrickFlow valve spring compressor and snug its 2 bolts down until they're tight. Then I attach the compressor part of the tool, making sure that plenty of threads from the bolt engage into the base. Then I hold the Allen head while turning the nut with a 14mm stubby wrench, which slowly compresses the springs. Once the springs are compressed far enough, you can remove the keepers with a strong pen magnet. If they won't come out on your first try, you may need to compress the springs a little bit further and try again. Once the 4 keepers are removed, put them in a safe place. If you lose them, your day will take a turn for the worse. Now we can undo the nut to release the spring pressure, and finally the springs and the retainers can be removed. Next, gently grab the valve seals with the pliers and remove them, and immediately install new ones. Generally speaking, the brown ones are for the exhaust valve seals and the blue ones are for the intake valve. Check your instructions to be sure. Now we can grab the pack springs and making sure we have the correct end up, place the retainer on top of the springs and start the same process of compressing the springs that we did a few minutes ago. Once the springs are compressed, carefully try inserting the keepers, making sure that they are properly engaged into the grooves that are in the sides of the valve stems. This step takes a little practice and patience, but keep trying and you'll get it. You want the springs compressed far enough but not too much, and you may need to gently pry the top of the spring and retainer a little bit one way or the other to allow the keeper to fall into place. Once the keepers are in their proper location, you can remove the valve spring compressor and disconnect your air supply. It took a while, but all 16 new Pack 1219 springs are where they belong. Now let's install the rocker arms. You can't compress a liquid like oil, so as a precaution against damaging the heads, I removed the excess oil with a Q-tip from all of the blind holes that the rocker arm bolts screw into. You don't have to remove all of the oil from the holes, just the vast majority of it. Then I remove the rocker arm bolts and grab the first pair of rocker arms, which are given a couple of drops of assembly lube on their contact points, and then installed by just tightening their bolts with my hands for now. Now repeat this step for the remaining 6 rocker arms on this head. You will not be able to fully tighten all of the rocker arms at this time. As you snug the bolts up with your fingers, you'll be able to tell which valves are open, usually 2 or 3 of them. All of these are down except for that one and that one, so we can tighten all the others. And we'll skip these for now and continue to snug up all of the valves that are fully closed or very close to fully closed. Once they are snugged down, I torque them to 22 pound-feet. Now using a socket on the alternator pulley, I rotate the engine just enough to close the valves that we skipped because they were open. Now we can tighten those down as well and torque them to 22 pound-feet. Then I give the rocker arm trunnion bearings a little shot of lubrication and install the valve covers. Make sure the gaskets are fully seated as you install the cover and then tighten the bolts to 106 pound-inches. Next I repeat this exact process on the driver's side, and once that is done, the coil packs can be installed. I'm going to put the spark plugs in next. I won't show you that because you know how to do it, but do use a little bit of anti-seize because we've got aluminum heads and you don't want them getting stuck. Just a little bit is all it takes. And then secondly, I just want to show you, I use a rubber hose over the end. That helps me get it in, and then when I'm done screwing it in, I can just pull the rubber hose off. Followed by the spark plug wires. That's going to do it for this one, guys. If you learned anything, go ahead and tap that thumbs up below. If you come here often, you might as well subscribe so you get notifications for the next video. And most of all, thanks for watching.